Stories found between midnight and morning. Archive 007. The Hitchhiker Who Didn't Leave. Status: Unresolved. Recovered: 1:42 a.m. Source: Recovered vehicle data. Partial audio log. Verified. Location: Rural Highway, Eastern Idaho region. I don't usually stop. Not on that stretch of highway. Not that late. It's a long, empty run between towns, just two lanes cutting through open land. Nothing but low hills, scrub, and the occasional fence line that disappears into darkness. No streetlights, no houses, no reason for anyone to be out there on foot. That night, I was coming back later than I should have been, just past midnight. The kind of hour where the road feels separate, like it isn't connected to anything anymore. No headlights behind you, none coming toward you. Just your own beams stretching out into nothing, swallowing distance a few seconds at a time. I remember the radio cutting in and out. Not completely, just enough to be annoying. A song would start, then dissolve into static for a few seconds before coming back like nothing happened. I didn't think much of it. That happens out there. What I did notice was how quiet everything else felt. No wind against the truck, no hum from the tires. Even the engine sounded muted, like the sound wasn't traveling right. I checked the dash once. Everything looked normal. Speed steady, fuel fine, no warnings. So I kept driving. And then I saw him. At first, I thought it was a sign. You know how your headlights hit something reflective way out ahead, and it just kind of floats there until you get closer? That's what it looked like. A shape. Too narrow to be a car. Too tall to be anything low to the ground. I slowed down a little. Didn't even realize I was doing it at first. The closer I got, the more it took shape. A person, walking along the shoulder. Not hitchhiking, not waving, just walking. That's what made it wrong. Out there, if someone's on the road, they flag you down. They step into the light. They make themselves known. This guy didn't. He stayed just inside the edge of the headlights, like he wasn't trying to be seen, just not avoiding it either. I remember thinking there had to be a car nearby, maybe broken down, maybe off in the ditch where I couldn't see it. But there was nothing. No hazard lights, no silhouette, no movement anywhere except him. I passed him the first time, didn't slow enough to stop. Just enough to get a better look as I went by. Male, I think. Hard to tell the age. Could have been 20s, could have been older. Dark clothes, no jacket. That's what stuck with me. It wasn't warm out, not that time of night. And he didn't look cold. Didn't have his arms tucked in, wasn't hunched. Just walking like the temperature didn't matter. I kept going, maybe another quarter mile. And then I checked the rearview mirror. I don't know why. Something about the way he moved, or didn't. The road behind me was empty. No headlights, no shapes, just darkness. And for a second, just a second, I couldn't see him anymore. I slowed down. Not all at once, just eased off the gas. My brain started filling in reasons. Maybe he stepped off the shoulder. Maybe there was a path I didn't see. Maybe I just lost him in the dark. But none of that sat right, because I should have seen him longer than that. There's nothing out there to block your view, nothing to disappear behind. I came to a stop, engine idling, headlights cutting a clean tunnel forward. Everything behind me, gone. I sat there for a few seconds, long enough to convince myself it wasn't my problem, long enough to almost put the truck back in gear. Then I looked in the side mirror, and there he was, closer than he should have been, walking toward the truck. Same pace, same posture, like he'd never been far away at all. I don't usually stop, not on that road, not for someone I don't know. But I reached for the door handle anyway, and unlocked it. He didn't rush. That's the first thing I remember clearly. Most people would. If you're stuck out there, middle of nowhere, and someone finally stops, you move fast. You don't take your time. He just kept walking. Same pace, same steady steps. Like the truck being there didn't change anything. I pushed the passenger door open from the inside. It creaked louder than it should have. Sound carried strangely out there. Too sharp, too clear. He reached the door a few seconds later and stopped. Didn't lean in. Didn't say anything right away. Just stood there, just outside the light. For a second, I thought maybe he wasn't going to get in. Then he turned his head. Not toward me, toward the road ahead. Like he was checking something, or waiting for something. Then, finally, he climbed in. Slow, deliberate. No wasted movement. The door closed behind him with a solid, normal sound. That was the last thing that felt normal. I waited for it. The thanks, the explanation, something. Nothing came. He just sat there, facing forward, hands resting loosely in his lap. I glanced over. Up close, he looked off. Not in a way I could point to, just enough that my brain didn't settle on it. His clothes were plain, dark hoodie, jeans. No dirt, no damage. Didn't look like he'd been walking for miles. Didn't look like he'd been outside long at all. "You need a ride?" I asked. Stupid question. He was already in the truck. A small pause. Then, "Yes." His voice was flat. Not quiet, not loud, just level. No strain, no breath behind it. Like the word had been placed there instead of spoken. I nodded, even though he wasn't looking at me. "Where to?" Another pause. Longer this time. I could hear the engine again, or maybe I just noticed it more. "Up ahead," he said. "Not far." I waited. That was it. No street name, no landmark, just up ahead. I almost asked him to be more specific. Almost told him I wasn't just going to drive aimlessly down a dead highway. But something about the way he said it, like the destination wasn't a suggestion, like it was already decided. I put the truck in gear, pulled back onto the road. We drove in silence for a while. The radio was still on, still cutting in and out. But now the static felt closer. Like it wasn't coming from the speakers, like it was sitting between us. I adjusted the volume. It didn't change. I turned it down completely. The static didn't go away. I didn't mention it. I didn't look at him again right away, just focused on the road. Straight lines, reflective markers ticking by. The kind of driving you can do without thinking. Except I was thinking. About how he got there. About where he was going. About why something felt wrong when nothing had actually happened yet. A few minutes passed, or at least it felt like a few. Hard to tell. Time didn't feel steady anymore. I glanced at the clock on the dash. 12:17 a.m. I looked back at the road. Then, without really meaning to, I looked at him again. He hadn't moved. Same posture, same forward gaze, but there was something different. I couldn't place it right away. Then I saw it. His seatbelt. The latch was clicked in, strapped across his chest. I hadn't seen him reach for it, hadn't heard the click, and I would have. And that silence, I would have heard it. I stared at it a second too long. He spoke before I could look away. "You didn't stop last time." I felt it before I understood it. That drop in your stomach. That sudden, quiet shift where everything gets heavier. "What?" I said. He didn't turn his head, didn't look at me, just kept staring forward. "You kept driving," he said. Another pause. Then, "You always do." I opened my mouth to respond, to correct him, to tell him I'd never been on this road with him before. But the words didn't come out, because I wasn't as sure as I should have been. The radio crackled again, louder this time, and for a second, I thought I heard a second voice under it. Not from the speakers, from somewhere inside the truck. Then it was gone. Just static, just silence. And the road ahead, stretching out longer than it should have. I told myself there had to be an explanation. Something simple. Something I just wasn't seeing yet. People say weird things all the time, especially at night. Especially when they've been walking alone for who knows how long. That's what I focused on. Not what he said. Just how to make it make sense. I kept my eyes on the road. Didn't look at him again for a while. Didn't want to. The headlights stretched out ahead, same as before. But something about the distance felt wrong now. Like the road wasn't moving the way it should. Like we weren't covering ground. I checked the speed. Same as before. 70. Steady. The engine sounded normal again, or close enough that I could pretend it was. I glanced at the clock. 12:17 a.m. Still. I frowned. That couldn't be right. We'd been driving for at least a few minutes, long enough to pass a mile marker, long enough to... I looked back at the road. Nothing. No markers, no signs, no turns. Just the same stretch of highway, unbroken, like it had reset itself. I felt that drop again, that quiet, sinking feeling. "You said, not far," I muttered, more to myself than to him. He answered anyway. "It isn't." Same tone, same flat delivery, no hesitation. I tightened my grip on the wheel. "Then where is it?" A pause, long enough that I thought maybe he wasn't going to answer. Then, "You'll see it when we get there." That didn't help, didn't explain anything. If anything, it made it worse. I exhaled slowly, tried to keep my breathing even, tried to stay grounded. The road, the truck, the wheel in my hands, those were real. Those hadn't changed. I focused on that. For a while, neither of us spoke. The silence stretched. Not empty, heavy, like something was sitting inside it. I became aware of small things, details I wouldn't normally notice. The way the headlights didn't quite reach as far as they should. The way the edges of the road seemed softer, less defined, like they were fading. I blinked a few times, shook my head slightly, tried to clear it. When I looked again, there was something ahead, far out, a shape, I leaned forward a little, squinting. It didn't resolve, didn't get clearer the way objects usually do when you approach them. It just stayed there. Same size, same distance, no matter how long I drove. "What is that?" I asked. No answer. I turned slightly toward him. He was still facing forward, still perfectly still. "You see that?" I said. Another pause. Then, "Yes." That was it. No explanation, no curiosity, just acknowledgement, like he already knew what I was looking at. I swallowed, looked back at the road. The shape was still there, unchanged, unmoving. I checked the mirror. Nothing behind me, just darkness. Then, the radio snapped on, loud, static blasting through the speakers. I flinched, reached for the knob, but my hand stopped halfway, because under the static, there was a voice. Not clear, not complete, just fragments. "Still there. Don't. In the back." It cut out. Dead silence. I stared at the radio, heart pounding now. That wasn't a signal. That wasn't interference. That was... "You missed it again." I froze, slowly turned my head. He hadn't moved, not his body, not his posture, but his eyes. They were on me now. I knew they were, even before I fully looked, even before I met them. "You passed it," he said. Quiet, certain, like it wasn't a question, like it had already happened. I jerked my gaze back to the road, the shape ahead, gone. Nothing there, just empty highway. I hit the brakes harder than I meant to. The truck slowed, tires humming against the pavement. I scanned the roadside, left, right, nothing. No driveway, no building, no sign we'd passed anything at all. "That's not possible," I said under my breath. My voice sounded smaller than it should have, like the space inside the truck had changed, like it was tighter. Behind me, something shifted, soft, subtle, not from the passenger seat, from somewhere else. I didn't turn around, didn't want to, didn't need to, because I already knew something in the truck wasn't where it was supposed to be anymore. I didn't turn around, not right away. Whatever made that sound, it wasn't loud, just a slight shift. Fabric, maybe. Weight settling. But it didn't come from the passenger seat, and that was enough. I kept my eyes forward, hands tight on the wheel, trying to slow my breathing without making it obvious. Like that mattered. Like he wouldn't notice. "You missed it," he said again. Same tone, no change. Like he hadn't just said something impossible. "There was nothing there," I replied, too quickly, too defensive. Silence. Then, there was. I shook my head. No, there wasn't. Another pause. Longer this time. Then, "You don't remember it." That landed wrong. Not confusing, not strange. Wrong. Like a statement that didn't belong in reality. "I was just there," I said. "I would remember." He didn't answer, didn't argue, didn't react at all. And somehow that made it worse. I glanced at him again. I shouldn't have. I know that now. Because something had changed. Not obviously, Not enough that you'd notice if you weren't already looking. But it was there. His posture. It wasn't the same. Before, he'd been sitting straight, facing forward, still. Now, he was angled slightly toward me. Just a few degrees, barely anything, but enough. Enough that it felt intentional. Enough that it felt like he'd moved without me seeing it happen. I stared at him for a second too long. His face looked the same, features unchanged, expression blank. But his eyes, they weren't fixed on the road anymore. They were on me. I snapped my attention back forward. The road stretched out again, endless, unbroken. I swallowed. "Where is it?" I asked. My voice sounded thinner now, less steady. "The turn," I added. "Where am I supposed to go?" A beat. Then, "You'll take it next time." That didn't make sense. "There is no next time," I said. "We're on it now." Another pause. Then, "You said that before." My grip tightened. "That doesn't mean anything." No response. Just silence. The kind that presses in. The kind that fills space. I focused on the road again, tried to anchor myself. But something was off. The center line. It wasn't passing under the truck the way it should. Too slow. Or maybe too smooth. Like we weren't moving over it. Like it was moving under us. I blinked. Looked harder. It snapped back to normal. Or close enough. I exhaled. Shook my head again. "This is stupid," I muttered. "Just stress. Just late. Just..." The reflection in the rearview mirror shifted. I didn't look directly at it. Not at first. Just caught it in the corner of my eye. A shape. Dark. Too defined to be shadow. Too still to be nothing. My chest tightened. Slowly, carefully, I raised my eyes to the mirror. The back seat was empty. Of course it was. Nothing there. Nothing at all. I held the gaze a second longer, then dropped it. Looked back at the road. And that's when I realized I hadn't seen his reflection. Not once. Not in the mirror, not in the side glass, not anywhere. I turned my head, fast this time. Too fast. Because I needed to prove it wrong. He was still there. Passenger seat. Same position, same angle toward me. Watching. Like he'd never moved. Like nothing had changed. Except, I knew it had. Behind me, something shifted again. Closer this time. "I'm stopping." I said it out loud this time. Not to him, to myself. Like saying it made it real. Like it meant I still had control. I eased off the gas. The truck slowed, steady, controlled. No sudden movements, no panic. That was important. If I kept everything normal, then this could still be normal. It had to be. "You'll miss it again," he said. I ignored him, watched the road, watched the edges, looking for anything. A turn, a break in the fence, a driveway, anything that proved this wasn't just an endless stretch of nothing. Then, there it was, on the right. I almost missed it. A narrow opening, no sign, no road marker, just a gap. Dark. Too dark. Like the headlights didn't want to go into it. "That's it," he said. Of course he did. I slowed more, turned the wheel. The truck dipped slightly as it left the pavement, gravel under the tires. The sound of it felt distant, muted again, like before. The headlights pushed forward and stopped. Not physically, just visually. They didn't reach as far as they should have, didn't spread, didn't reflect. They just ended, a few feet ahead, like something was swallowing the light. I stopped the truck, engine idling, everything else silent. "Here," he said. I didn't move right away, didn't reach for anything, didn't even breathe for a second. Then, the passenger door opened, slow, controlled. I didn't touch it, didn't look at him, just stared forward. The door closed, a clean, solid sound. I counted. 1, 2, 3. Nothing. No footsteps, no movement, no figure passing through the headlights. I turned my head, slowly. The seat was empty. No one there. Door closed, exactly as it should be, except the seatbelt, still latched, pulled tight across nothing. I stared at it, trying to understand, trying to force it into something logical. But my brain wouldn't do it. It wouldn't connect, wouldn't process. I reached out, hand shaking more than I wanted to admit, touched the belt. It was warm, not just warm, like someone had been sitting there, recently. I pulled my hand back, fast, like I'd touched something I shouldn't. Then, the rearview mirror. I didn't want to look. I knew better now, but I did anyway, because not looking felt worse, because not knowing felt worse. Slowly, I raised my eyes. The back seat, at first, looked empty. Just shadows, just darkness. Then, it shifted. Not movement, not exactly, just a shape becoming visible. Like it had always been there, just waiting for me to notice. Sitting directly behind me, still, watching. I didn't turn around. I didn't need to, because I could feel it now, closer than before. Inside the truck, still inside the truck. And it hadn't left. It never had. I didn't move, didn't breathe, didn't even blink for a second. Because if I did, it might move too. The mirror held it there. Not clearly, not fully, but enough. A shape in the back seat. Too still, too centered. Like it was exactly where it was supposed to be, and I wasn't. My hands were still on the wheel, locked in place, knuckles tight, white. I forced myself to look forward again. The windshield, the darkness ahead, the narrow beam of headlights that stopped too soon. That was real. That had to be real. Behind me, It spoke. "You found it." Same voice, same tone. Closer now. Not from the passenger side, not from beside me, from directly behind my seat. I swallowed. My throat felt dry, tight. "You got out," I said. The words came out wrong, like I didn't believe them even as I said them. A pause. Then, "No." Simple, certain, like correcting a mistake. "I let you out," I said, more force this time, trying to anchor it, trying to make it true. Another pause, longer. Then, "You stopped." That wasn't the same thing. My chest tightened. I shook my head slightly. "That's not—" "You stopped," it repeated. And this time, there was something else under the words. Not emotion, not anger, just weight. Like the meaning mattered more than the words themselves. I stared at the road, trying to think, trying to piece it together. Passenger door opened, passenger door closed, seat empty. That happened. I knew it did. I heard it. I saw it. But I never actually saw him leave. That thought landed hard. Too hard. Because once it was there, everything else shifted around it. The sound of the door, the timing, the silence after. I had assumed, filled in the gap, like my brain didn't want to question it, like it just accepted the easiest version. Behind me, fabric shifted again. Closer. Not moving forward, not exactly, just settling, like it was getting comfortable. "You always stop here," it said. "You always think I leave." My grip tightened again. "That doesn't make sense," I said. My voice was quieter now, less certain. "It does," it replied. A pause. Then, "You don't remember the rest." The air in the truck felt heavier, thicker, like breathing took more effort than it should. "What rest?" I asked. No answer, just silence again. But this time, it wasn't empty. It was waiting. The radio clicked, soft, then static, low at first, then rising. Not loud, just present, like it was filling the space. Under it, that same broken voice. "Still there. Don't turn. It's behind." The signal warped, stretched, then cut. Dead. I stared straight ahead. Didn't move. Didn't look at the mirror again. Because I didn't need to anymore. I could feel it. Right behind me. Not touching. Not reaching. Just there. Patient. Like it had all the time in the world. "You can go," it said. That caught me off guard. My eyes flicked slightly. Not enough to break forward focus. "What?" I asked. "You can drive," it said. Calm. Flat, like before. "You always do." My foot hovered over the gas. I hadn't realized I'd taken it off. The truck idled quietly, waiting, just like everything else. "You'll take the turn again," it continued. Another pause. Then, "And next time, you'll remember more." My chest tightened. "That's not happening," I said. But even as I said it, I wasn't sure. Because the road ahead, it didn't look like a way out. It looked like a reset, like something I'd already done. And behind me, it shifted, just slightly, as if settling in for the drive. I should have shut the engine off. That's what I think now. Just kill it. Step out. Walk. Do anything that wasn't staying in that truck. But I didn't. I kept my hands on the wheel, kept my eyes forward. And after a few seconds, I pressed the gas. The truck rolled forward, slow at first, gravel crunching under the tires, then smoother as I eased it back toward the road. I didn't look in the mirror, didn't look at the passenger seat, just focused on the headlights, the road, the lines. Normal. Keep it normal. That's all I had left. Behind me, nothing. No voice, no movement. Just silence. That almost made it worse. I reached the pavement, turned the wheel, straightened out, and started driving. For a while, it felt like I'd made the right choice. The road looked normal again. The headlights reached farther. The air felt lighter. Even the engine sounded right. I checked a clock. 12:17 a.m. Still, I stared at it, waiting for it to change. It didn't. A mile marker passed on the right. I watched it go, focused on it, counted seconds. Then another. Then another. Normal. This was normal. I exhaled, long, slow. And for the first time since I stopped, I felt like I might be okay. Then, I saw him. Up ahead. On the shoulder. Walking. Same pace, same posture. Just inside the edge of the headlights. Exactly where he had been before. My grip tightened instantly. "No," I whispered. The truck didn't slow this time. I didn't let it. I kept my foot steady, kept moving forward. "You don't stop this time," the voice said, behind me. Calm, certain, like it already knew. I didn't respond, didn't even breathe. The figure ahead didn't react, didn't turn, didn't signal, just kept walking. I passed him, faster this time. Didn't look directly, just enough to confirm. Same clothes, same shape, same. I kept going, didn't check the mirror, didn't slow down, didn't think, just drove. Seconds passed, or minutes, hard to tell. Then, the radio clicked, soft, static rising, and under it, my own voice, clear, panicked. "I think something's in the back seat." I froze. The recording continued. "I don't think he ever got out." It cut. Silence again. My chest tightened. My hands shook. And without meaning to, I looked in the rearview mirror. The back seat, empty. Nothing there. Just shadows. Just darkness. I let out a breath I didn't realize I was holding. Then, the passenger door clicked. Soft. Controlled. I felt it before I saw it. Not wind, not pressure, not the violent pull that should have come at this speed. Just movement. I turned. The door was open, wide, and the truck kept moving. Smooth, steady, like nothing was wrong, like it had happened before. Behind me, something shifted forward.
End of record. Status: unresolved. Archive.